Hello, chismosas y chismosos, and welcome back to Bay Area Housewife of True Crime, where I like to tell the stories of the real cucuys and lloronas of the world. I'm Audrey, a paralegal turned stay-at-home mom who loves true crime. The cases I cover are wild. Topics may be triggering. Viewer and listener discretion is strongly advised. The people mentioned are innocent until proven guilty in court. With all that being said, grab your hot Cheetos and let's get started on today's case. On Mother's Day of 2010, 18-year-olds Carlos Buenostro and Rafael Avila were robbed and murdered execution style by 17-year-old Tierra Chanel Arnold and 21-year-old Isaiah Nolan Washington. This case was very hard to research, write, and even talk aloud about. It takes place in my hometown of Hayward, California. I went to Longwood Elementary, Ochoa Middle School, and Mount Eden High School with Carlos and Rafa. They were rarely seen without each other in conversations. You would and still now refer to them as Carlos and Rafa. Rafa was shy, but if you got him to talk, he was low-key hella funny. And Carlos was more outgoing, your typical class clown, but he never crossed the line. They were truly great guys, and the way their lives were taken far too soon with their entire lives ahead of them is truly horrific. Tierra Arnold and Isaiah Washington were from Oakland, California, and were romantically involved, boyfriend and girlfriend. Once they caught murder charges for brutally taking the lives of Carlos and Rafa, they broke up, and the media loved calling them former lovers. The media also loved focusing on the love triangle, Isaiah and Tierra. When they learned that Isaiah and Tierra were dropping off their friend, a 16-year-old named Jocelyn Medellin in Hayward, California. At trial, the defense attorney said that this girl was the intended target that night because Isaiah got mad when he found out that she and Tierra had been intimate during the time he was in prison for robbing Tierra's ex-boyfriend. Although they were young, Tierra and Isaiah were well on their way to become career criminals. In November of 2008, they robbed at gunpoint Tierra's ex-boyfriend, who was 16 years old at the time. He was lured by Tierra to a location in Fremont. Tierra told him to park off Alvarado Boulevard with the promise of having some very uncomfortable car sex. Then Isaiah came up with a gun and demanded the 16-year-old's phone, earrings, and even made him take off his grills. The gun Isaiah had was stolen from an Oakland police officer. Isaiah took a plea bargain for that case. He served just over a year in prison and was released on probation on May 2nd. Tierra was also found guilty, charged for robbery in that case as well, and it was resolved through a juvenile youth authority, the juvenile youth authority, since she was just 15 years old at the time. Isaiah was released from prison on May 2nd, 2010. 6 days later, Carlos and Rafa were brutally murdered. At around 1 a.m. on May 9th, 2010, on West Park Street in Hayward, California, Tierra Arnold and Isaiah Washington came up to Carlos Buenostro and Rafael Avila. The lifelong friends were walking to Rafa's white Saturn that was parked outside the party they were coming out of. The trio decided that they were the ones they would rob that night. They were made to lie face down on the concrete while Tierra checked them and their car to see if they had anything valuable she could take. Isaiah got mad at Tierra for putting her fingerprints on the car that she was checking. Tierra wanted to show her boo that she was serious about their love and that she stood on business. So she took the rifle from Isaiah and took her anger out on Carlos and Rafa. She made sure to kick them before shooting them in the back 21 times with the AK-47 assault rifle. Isaiah then ordered Tierra to shoot Jocelyn so there wouldn't be any witnesses to their crimes. Jocelyn was able to run away. She survived the attempt on her life and lived to testify at trial of the brutality and forcefulness the shots were that she witnessed the bodies bounce from the ground. They were caught by A Street driving their ugly lime green 98 Oldsmobile during a heated argument. When the police turned on their lights for them to pull over, it ignited a high-speed chase that ended up in East Oakland after they ditched their car on Fenham Street. The ugly lime green car was registered to Tiara. She was found hiding behind a business center and was arrested for evading police. Isaiah was found hiding behind a backyard of a home on Tevis Street. Isaiah was arrested on a parole violation. Tiara was released due to lack of evidence at first, but then after her fingerprints were found on Rafa's car, she was rearrested on murder charges. Tiara was arrested for murder as she was heading to a job interview with a job placement organization. Gunpowder residue was found on both Isaiah and Tiara's hands. Bullet casings matching the ones at the crime scene were found in Isaiah's backyard in Oakland. Although Tiara was 17 at the time of the murder, she was tried as an adult due to the cold-blooded killer that she is. Prosecutor Jimmy Wilson provided evidence that showed Tiara Arnold fired 21 shots from an AK-47 assault rifle that ultimately killed Carlos Buenostro and Rafael Avila. Isaiah Washington was equally guilty because he was the one calling the shots. He wanted to rob Carlos and Rafa, who have been said to have happened to be at the wrong place at the wrong time. To which I have to say, what do you mean at the wrong place at the wrong time? Their hometown? One should be able to be free to roam around their own streets without it being called the wrong place at the wrong time. Isaiah then ordered Tiara to shoot Jocelyn so that there wouldn't be any witnesses to their crimes.